So now we last look at string formatting. String formatting. What do we mean by string formatting? How can I replace string with certain values? Okay. Now I'm going to have a placeholder here, my age. So what am I expecting here? This place is going to be replaced with something called name, and this is a placeholder that is getting replaced with a age. Age, assume that it is an integer value. Now what happens when I try to join string with an integer? What happens if I do this?
Error will be given.
Right, it is an invalid statement because we cannot concatenate int with string. Okay, so if I have to get this working, I have to ensure that I convert my integer to the respective string type, Now this will get converted to a string and then I can append it, and this will just work fine. This will work fine. But if I have to do this always, right, I have to worry about the data types. If it is any other non-string type, I have to convert it to a string. Only then it will work. Yeah. So any of we'll have this many. If it is a float, if it is a type, if it is a list, whatever, right? So we can, when we are trying to concatenate it with the string has a problem. Basically, it will not entertain it. It will throw error. In this case, it is error. In this case, it is success. There are no errors. So in these times, we don't want to convert every input value to we have to check a type and then we have to convert it to a string. So rather, Python has given a better way. So how can I do? We call it as f strings. Basically, it is a for string formatting only. F stands for a format. So we call it as f string. So what am I going to do here? I know my variable age is equal to 10. I have my variable name is equal to Ram. Now, in this case, what we are going to do here is we are going to use we are going to use a substring replacement here. So how do we do that? Using a f string. So what I'm going to say here is I'm going to say f and then I start my string. I'm going to say f and then I'm going to start my string. So what do I mean by that? This is a string formatting. This is a string formatting. So here my name is, I'm going to use this flower bracket. I'm going to use this flower bracket and put my variable name, my age is right. If see here what we are doing here, my aim is name. So here there is a variable called name. Yes. And this is going to get replaced here. And there is a variable called age and that is going to get replaced here. So the output would be my name is Ram. My age is 10. This will be my output string. So how did we did not did this is an integer, right? Age is an integer. Did we try converting to int string type? No. right? So your Python will by default take care of the conversions. By default, Python will take care of the conversions. We don't have to worry. So you just pass in the value and it will do the conversions and create a string for you. And also it is replacing. So if at all, if there was no formatting, if I have to do the same string, right? If I have to do the same output, so what I have to do, right? So my name is end the string, then plus I have to join the string, right? So then I'll have to say name, then I have to say again plus again my age is, then plus str of age. I have to do this much. So which is better, this or this? Which is better?
Yeah, first one is better, sir.
So all I have to do is use f followed by use a flower bracket to replace any variables. See, this is a very small string which has only two values to be replaced, right? What if there will be a situation where you want to replace 10 variables in it, and if you are going with this approach, it is not going to help. It is not going to help. It will take time. It is possible to cause errors and all. But if you are going by the f strings, you are safe. If you are going by the f string, you are safe, right? All you have to do is f format the given string. My name is followed by a flower bracket and I place my name. This is a variable. This should be a variable, right? My age is, this should be a variable. This should be a variable. So there we are trying to replace two variables and we should ensure those two variables are present here. Now this is a string value. This is a float value. So this doesn't matter. This will just replace that respective type to type and converts and appends it to the string. Okay, are we clear? Try this as a example. Okay. Why is the syntax error? Because I started with a double quote, ended with a single quote. As I told earlier, if we start with the double quote, we should also end with the double quote. Okay. Now what will happen here? It is not throwing any error, right? So I told that name and age should be variables that should be present, but here it is not throwing any error. Why? We don't have a name or age as a, okay, age we have, but name we don't have, right? If I say name error, name is not defined, right? So, but what is the problem here? The string a, it is just prints as is. Why? What is the mistake that I did? Right here I did use it as a plain string. I did not use it as a f string. I did not use it as a f string. So if I say a is equal to, okay, sorry, a is equal to f of and place my string, and if I try to enter, then it starts looking for the variable called name and this will fail to compile, and hence name error. Name is not defined. If I say name is equal to John, age is equal to 40, and if I execute that statement now, x is equal to f of, and if I see what is there in my x, my name is John and I am 40. Did it get replaced? Right, this variable should be present if you are using them in the f string, so only then it can replace. If it doesn't find, then it is going to throw name error. It is going to throw name error. Are we clear?
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Okay, so that is all with respect to the strings. That is all with respect to strings. Okay, so we are done with strings, we are done with numbers, right? Now we will see how to delete a variable. How to delete a variable. Delete a variable. How can we delete a variable? So there is a keyword called del. There is a keyword called del. Okay, it is a keyword used to delete a variable. It can do few more things, we will see as we go further. But for now, let's keep it as it can be used to delete a variable. So for example, I have a variable called message and is equal to some word called test. I have a variable, I have a value. Okay. Now if I say print message, it will print whatever is written, whatever is the value. So here in this case, it will print test. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, now what would have happened here somewhere in the memory as the moment we do this. So it would point and create a memory and it would write that string into that memory, and that memory address is basically stored in MSG. And whenever we use the variable MSG, it is going to that memory address, fetch that data, and it is going to print it for you. Yes. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say del MSG, which means I am deleting this variable, which means I am deleting this variable. So which the moment I delete, the connection between the variable and to the value is removed, and this is basically removed from the memory. So this just becomes a plain box. So right now there is no test stored in it. It is erased or removed from memory. Now if I just try to say print MSG, now it is like, okay, that variable is not even defined. So it's been already deleted. So this will throw name error. This will throw name error. Are we clear? Name error, name message is not defined. Name message is not defined. So here I'm going to, we have age, right? So if I say age, it is saying 40. Now what I'll say till age, right? And if I try to access age now, it is going to say name error, name age is not defined. Age is equal to 40. Perfect. A is equal to 40. If I say A, print A, it is going to print whatever is the value that is there in it. I can say A plus 50, it is going to return 90. A plus A, it is going to return 80. Perfect. A is all accessible. The moment I delete A, it is removed from that memory. It is removed from the memory. So now Python doesn't remember the variable A was even created or not. And if I try to access A, it is like, okay, I have not heard of it. Name A is not defined. It is totally erased from the memory. Okay, and hence it cannot remember it. So when you say a, it will say, okay, it is not defined. Why is that Python saying that it is not defined? Because we have already deleted it. How did we delete? We used a keyword called del. We used a keyword called del, right? Okay.